What would you say if I was to give you a small spread, just 5 cards, that would reply to almost any question? But first, I have some admin stuff to talk about for a few seconds. I made a few playlists, 6 exactly, 3 in English, 3 in French. That way it would be much easier to find back the videos. There's one playlist where I put all the videos in English, another one where I put all the videos in French, and then accordingly 2 other playlists where I put the videos concerning tarot and concerning Lenormand, respectively, in French and in English. So it will be much easier for you when you're looking for videos to not go through everything, but find them by the language you prefer. So this said, now also if you want to be notified of new videos coming, please press on the subscribe button, the big red button on my channel. That way you'll know when a new video is coming. Up to now, I have about close to 500 subscribers. And this is very warming, very nice. I want to thank you very much for this. So now let's go back to that little spread. And I'm going to switch the camera to go on the table so we can show the cards at the same time. So that spread that I was talking about is the French cross. French cross is a great spread, and I'm going to show you in a few seconds how to do it. I have a question, and that we're going to try to apply that question to that spread. You see, it's easy. You see that box? It's the Oracle Berlin. I have it since quite a long time. I never really looked into. It's quite a nice deck. It's 52 cards. Cards are very simple. They show just, you see here in the corner, planet. There are 7 planets here, and they show a small image, a simple image, very easy to see. It's a very nice oracle. The images usually play directly on the subconscious, so they trigger messages very easily. It's really nice, but I never really looked into. So I was wondering, I'm going to maybe ask the tarot, should I start looking into that oracle? What kind of advice it could give me to how to abort it? Or am I wasting my time? Should I just leave it away for the moment? Is it the right time to start it? And how should I approach it? So I thought that would be a great question. So now let's go back to tarot and the French cross. So like I said, 5 positions. I'm going to show you, and then we do the spread after. 5 positions, so I usually put position 1 is here, on the left, position 2 on the right, 3 on top, 4 at the bottom, and 5 in the middle. And how do you use this? Position 1 and 2 are kind of counterbalancing each other. You get a situation, like the one here where I want to learn about Berlin or see if I should. This is the pro. What works for you? What's positive, what's great in your favor. And this is the con, just the reverse, what's not working for you, what's working against you, what are the obstacles. So it's kind of counterbalancing each other, like for every situation. Of course, I usually have things that works for you, things that are against you. So here you get the 2 aspects. Next position, position 3, you see it's quite simple. It's usually called the extended present or the judge. Judge because it's usually an advice on how to resolve these 2. You see all the aspects here. This is great, this is bad, and here, how do I deal with these 2 cards? What do I do? How do I progress? And following that advice, I'm getting the result. So this is the result of the spread. And the 5th card of the reading here in the middle is called the synthesis, meaning it's the perception the querent has of the question. What links everything together here? It goes beyond what the result is. It's more like what the querent is perceiving of what's going on here. And it's quite interesting because usually you start with that card to interpret. Like for instance, you would have the sun. For instance, you have a very optimistic querent who is going to do everything so that what he's asking about succeeds. For instance, or you could get a card like let's say the Nine of Swords. Someone who is worried very quickly, who is always thinking negative. So you're going to deal very differently with that kind of querent. He won't see the positive aspects very easily. He is going to emphasize the negative aspects. Or maybe you get something like the Wheel of Fortune, someone who is kind of no opinion to start with, which could go one way or the other, who is ready to take his chances, his or her chances. So this is a very important card here because it's going to indicate you in what state of mind the querent is when he is asking the question. Now, of course, that spread, which is wonderful for it, is you can do it with anything you want. A lot of people will do it with tarot. You find it in almost everywhere in the French world, like it's described in almost every tarot book in French. Usually it's done in French way, usually with tarot and majors only. It's no problem. You can do it with the whole deck too. Absolutely no difference. If you do with majors only, you can just compute the card in the middle if you want. If you do with the whole deck or something else, you can of course always pick the card like you pick the other ones, and that's usually what I do, even if I work with majors only. You can do it with the Oracle Belin too. It's done a lot with that Oracle, I know, from what I've seen. You could do it with Lenormand or with any kind of deck you want. So this is about it for the theory. This spread is about 100, 220 years old. It's kind of about the same age than the Celtic Cross. It was made by a Swiss tarotist called Oswald Wirth, or Wirth. I don't know how you pronounce it in English. Sorry, but he was the one who came with it, and he was a Swiss occultist, and he wrote an interesting book on the tarot too. So let's try this spread. I'm going to take 5 cards and then we'll see. Okay. Like I said, should I start doing something with the Oracle Belin, or what should I know about how to study it? So we get 1 card on the left, 1 card on the right, 1 card on top. And I will start face down so that I look at them one by one. 1 card at the bottom, 1 card in the middle for the synthesis. Okay, we got the 5 cards. We can start. Okay, first card, like I said, always start with the synthesis so that I know what we're talking about, mostly. So let's start here. And we get what? We get the 5 of Wands. Okay, interesting card. It's a card of... first, I always see the 5s like what's going right after the 4. So we're going about disrupting stability that we had in the 4. And being in the 1s, it's kind of disruptive. It's kind of mood of... am I going to put something more into competition with what I already do, for instance? What should I do? It's kind of like, you see 5 people here, 5 young people, all with a big wand, all fighting to see who's the best, whatever. So it's kind of a game which everything is in competition, but at the same time I don't like it in a way that if you put too much in competition like this, like you see here, you get kind of confusion. And I don't like that confusion when I'm talking about divination. I like to know my tools very well. And I'm wondering when I see this that the problem I could see is that adding 1 more might disturb my situation right now where I feel stable, like I would feel with a 4 happy, and it might disrupt this. After all, days are about 24 hours each, meaning we have only that much time when we want to do something, And now, if I put one more, I'm going to have to share the time with something else. Time is going to compete between all the systems I'm using, and that might be a problem. So I would say that my perception of this is not extremely positive to start with. Yeah, I like competition. I would like to do it, but at the same time, it's kind of I'm careful when I see this card because I don't want to disturb what I already do. That's mostly how I see it for the moment. We might change. I might change my mind when I see the other ones, but this is just a state of mind for the moment. Okay, let's see the positive aspects. We have justice. Justice. Yes. Well, it's a good card. I believe in that position for me. Justice is of course a card which is mostly about the mind. The more you use a tool, the more you know it. You have to put some work to be able to know it, and that's a little bit what justice is telling here. That the more you put into, the more you get. Like everything else, you have to objectively start looking into, without made-up mind when you start with, and just justice is just telling you cannot judge without having evidence, without having all the evidence. Even if, like I said here, it might be too much in competition, too much taking time of something else. Justice is just telling me that I should temper my idea here because I cannot judge it without trying. The justice is the person who rules over a trial. So it's like we need to see the evidence. I need to try. We'll see what it gives, and then judgment will come later. So I have to go still, as it's the pro, with a positive mind in looking objectively into what is going here. So let's see now what is the cons, what is working against me. Four of Pentacle. And knowing myself, yes, I can recognize myself into this. Sometimes I'm very close with the tools I know, and that's the problem right now. You see that person who is holding everything close. You have pentacles under the feet, one on the hands here, close to his heart, one on the head. It's like everything is closed here with these pentacles, like not much opening here. It's like everything is close together. And this four is the stability I was talking about here, but here it's on a practical level, of course, because it's the pentacles. It's about the pentacles, talking about concrete, talking about my values also, the tools I value and which one I kind of stable and really consider like my babies for the moment are taking all my time. Huh? It's mostly tarot and secondary is Lenormand also, but these two are really taking all my time, and that's all I see for the moment. So let's like I explained here. The problem here is that I would need to open myself and share my time with others, and that's something I wasn't not really willing to do at the beginning. So you see here it's kind of, this one tells me to be objective, and this one tells me, no, I don't have the time for that, kind of. So that's kind of the dilemma we have. You see the opposition of forces we see here. And of course, the synthesis tells me, well, put it in competition, you'll see later. That's what justice wants. So we'll see. Card of extended present, Tower. An interesting card here. It's kind of throw away all my ideas. Maybe I should just stop this. And force myself to do it. It's like tower is kind of something is exploding. You see that the tower with the top which is exploding like a thunderstorm. Might fall in love with it. I might really love it. I don't know. It might be the reason. It might be the tower tell me to really shake up what I'm doing. I'm into my routine with the 4 here, which is not good for this. So the tower tells me if you really want to see this, shake up your routine. Maybe shaking up my routine would be being less possessive what I have, maybe spend less time with what I have and start really to open my mind and really look deeply to be able to judge. To be able to judge, I need to really know what I'm doing. So this is time which will be taken to do it. So just Tower tells me just shake everything else and do it. It's like no, you cannot continue like you are if you want to learn it. If you go in the optic that you really want to learn it, okay, go ahead, shake everything, and let's see what the result is. 6 of Wands, 6 of Cups, sorry, where you see one person. So we have 2 small person here giving 1 cup to another one. Kind of an interesting card. I always associate usually the 6 with choices, directions we want to take, and here we are cups. So cups is always something which is extremely interesting because cups are talking about emotions, about things we like, things we love, and here we see that this might be something that's coming back. Like I said, I have, knowing my experience, and as this is my question, this one is in my drawer since a very long time, a few years. I played with it from time to time, but never took the time to look into. That card tells me maybe you go back to these memories and yeah, you get it. You play safely with it. You see people here into the garden with a guard on the side. So it's not something you're going to use with customers or publicly for the moment. It's quite kept inside. You see, they play inside the garden of that mansion or that house. They really play inside. They're not going out. So the idea is to play with this inside, and so like I said, not use it publicly. We'll see what it gives. I'll keep the open mind, and that's probably something which is interesting. Maybe someday, when I look at the synthesis here, which is what's linking everything together at the same time, so it's kind of double usage here, like first the perception I have it when I start, and at the end it's kind of what is linking everything together. And it might be that someday, after having played with it like this and change completely the way I see it, might like to put it in competition with the rest. So it might be a new tool that could be useful someday. So yeah, I'll do like justice, keep an open mind and see what I can do with it. Okay, that's it for today. Next video, we'll see a little bit more of the French rose. There are 2 extensions I do usually, so which are 3 additional cards which can give you more information about what's going on. So we'll see that the next time. Thank you.